To make sure that we have a clear understanding of the main concepts in fraction, we're going to go through this fraction check. So the first one says describe the numerator and denominator. So what is the numerator? There's different ways we describe the numerator. We can say it's the number of pieces. And then the denominator would represent the size of pieces. We could also say that the numerator represents multiplication. The denominator then represents division. We can also say that the numerator represents the part, and then the denominator would represent the whole. These are all valid ways we can look at the numerator and denominator. Why do we need a common denominator? Well, we don't need a common denominator to multiply and divide. Although when we're dividing in fractions, it does help to have a common denominator, but we don't need it. We need a common denominator for addition and subtraction. Okay? Maybe so I'll write this down. Don't need for times and divide. But we need it for addition and subtraction. And the reason why we need it for addition and subtraction is in order to add and subtract things, we're essentially counting things. And we cannot count things that are different. So in order to add and subtract or count, we need the same size pieces. We need to be talking about the same thing. So we need for addition and subtraction because we need same size pieces. So adding 1/2 plus 2/5, if I'm going to add 1/2 fraction to a 2/5 fraction, in order for this to happen, I'm just going to maybe change the shading here. A 1/2 fraction plus a 2/5 fraction, I cannot add this together because these are different size pieces. So in order to make this the same size pieces, what I can do is I can slice this up into 1/10 pieces. And now I have 4/10. So my 2/5 becomes times 2 times 2. So I did it in groups of 2. Here I need times 5 times 5. So I need to break this up into groups of 5. Once I've done that, I can see that I have 5 pieces here out of 10. So there's my 5/10. I've done a times 2 here to get a 4/10. And so now that I have the same size pieces, I can add the numerators, and the denominators represents the size of pieces. Well, they don't change when I multiply, so I have 9/10. I should just draw this a little bit better. So there I have, I'm going to shade in 9 out of 10 pieces. So there's my first 5, and I have 4 more to make my 9/10. So we can do this with any other fractions. I can do a 1/2 fraction. And I can add it to a 1/3 fraction. Now I cannot add these the way they are. In order to add these, I need to be able to count the numerator, which means I need to have the same size pieces. So to get the same size pieces here, I'm going to make a common denominator of 6. So I'm going to chop this up into groups of 3. So I get 3 6 plus, I'm going to chop this up into groups of 2. That means I'm going to multiply by 2. And I end up with 2 6. So when I add these together, I have a total of 5 pieces. The size of pieces are the same, so I'm still going to have 1 6 pieces. And I end up being able to shade 5 out of those 6 pieces. Okay, so I have my original 2 plus 3 more. So I end up with 5 6 as my solution to this addition problem.